Takagawa agrees to Katsumi's request to be eaten by Pickle, but with two conditions: that it must begin at 6 a.m. and take place at the baseball stadium rather than the underground arena. He warmed up by running from his house to the baseball field. His mother was waiting for him at the gate, and she says she invited the person who means the most to him, a precious person who cannot be replaced. Well, he doesn't care who his mother invites because she is the most important person in his life. Then his mother left and another woman arrived whom she had invited. This is unbelievable, especially since she is also his birth mother. It turns out that everything happened 15 years ago. Doppo Orochi, invited by a close friend, was astounded when he visited his friend's circus, Katsumi Orochi, age 5. He was astounded by the 5-year-old prodigy's physical prowess and talent. The boy's father was killed in an accident. Doppo and his wife took over the boy from his mother, at this point adopting and raising him. Katsumi immediately embraces his biological mother. This reunion has an emotional impact on Takagawa because Katsumi has two mothers, and both of them love him. After fighting a mammoth, Baki Hanma appeared in front of Katsumi. He never expected Katsumi to go ahead of him, but he did. Orochi also came to support him, and 5,000 Shinshinkai Dojo members gathered to inspire their young leader. A single exhalation of breath created a massive shockwave, and the group gathered at Tokyo Dome to motivate their young leader. The group was led by instructor Sushi, and their leader had matured enough to fully accept the enormous expectations placed on him. Katsumi's strength and determination were on display when he was promoted from place to food in a faraway land. Only his most powerful foes could get angry, and only those who attacked him could defy jungle law. This formidable foe compelled him to adopt the same stance as his adversary, the T-Rex. As the crowd applauded, Katsumi felt a strange pain in his stomach as the weight of a T-Rex's tail struck his stomach, exactly as he expected. Even Pickle's fist would be destroyed if he was hit with a Mach speed blow. Katsumi, a karate fighter, has accomplished something no man has ever done before, but at the expense of a fist. He was overjoyed that his body had mastered machine speed, and this new calculation guided his every move. Retsu admits that Katsumi has mastered the technique, but now faces a problem caused directly by the Mach speed. Albert explains that the air caused Katsumi's injury by breaking the sound barrier, not the impact on Pickle's body. When an airplane accelerates, it naturally encounters resistance from the air as it charges ahead when its speed exceeds 1,225 kilometers per hour at the sound barrier. The issue is the burden placed on the object. He bore a tremendous burden when his hands and feet exceeded 1,225 kph, and he finally took both hands and his left foot to achieve a true advantage. Katsumi is already on the mend, and Albert admits that martial arts are extremely powerful. Pickle's rivals were primitive beings whose attacks were 100 kilos heavier than this attack. Katsumi and Pickle aimed for that move and executed it flawlessly, destroying both his hands and one foot. Albert recognizes that martial arts are powerful, but has yet to use his move. Katsumi's ultimate goal is to annihilate his opponents with his devastating landing moves. He has developed the muscles to deal with powerful attacks and his own cutting edge, which is the most powerful and finest move. Pickle's blood is splattered on the stance, a tool capable of achieving Mach speed solely through human locomotion. Albert explains that Pickle is sleeping because he is taking a break from the fight. There would be no need to attack if the fight had occurred in nature. Katsumi says that Pickle falls asleep and waits for his opponent to stop breathing. Pickle is crying as he recalls Takagawa's words that Pickle loves those who attack him and eats those who eat him. He is grateful that the most powerful man on the planet has recognized him as a formidable foe and that his efforts have paid off. Pickle rips off his arm, and Tatsumi agrees to let him eat him. Takagawa organizes shooters for the case and apologizes to Pickle for not keeping his promise. Orochi appears and instructs him to request that the shooters lay down their weapons. Pickle is a man who will keep his promise regardless of time, race, culture, or intelligence. Even though he is a caveman, he has been challenged in fights. Katsumi's arm was supposed to be a war trophy, and it was given to him by a friend. Despite his small stature, Katsumi was on par with those much larger and stronger than him. He was up against a new foe, one who kicked with small feet and punched with small hands. He was a wimp with no claws, fangs, or poison, but his attacks were ferocious. Katsumi grasped the meaning of sacrifice and morphed those small, soft things into fangs, horns, and claws. This accomplishment was an irreplaceable treasure, but he offered it up without saying a single word. Pickle chose to withdraw on an empty stomach. For the first time, his body was filled with a strange sense of satisfaction. Shinchenkai's 50,000 members at the stadium had gone naturally, and they all knelt on their own, demonstrating their devotion to their reputable leader. Baki was filled with regret because he was jealous, but he couldn't stop himself from laughing. Retsu brought some tea to Katsumi a few days later, which smelled nice and had a rich flavor. Retsu felt it was necessary to say it, and he would not let anyone deny it. Japan and China worked together to win the fight. Baki paid Katsumi a visit with flowers and asked if he could pick up where he left off. Tatsumi felt it was necessary to say it, and he couldn't imagine Pickle facing him. Ritsu went to find Baki to see how well he was prepared for the fight. Baki inquired as to what the heck Pickle was, and neither he nor Katsumi had any idea. Ritsu notices Baki's readiness and instructs Baki to contact Tokugawa. The following day, Pickle's place was visited by Baki's brother Jack. The arrival of a fantastic toy that brings back nostalgic memories delights Jack. He wants to take a bite out of Pickle, a 200-kilogram monster who can rip a coconut to shreds. Pickle understands language like an infant, and they approach each other without saying anything. Baki calls Tokugawa telling him he wants to fight the next day. Baki is late, but when he sees Pickle being thrown away, he punches him, causing Pickle's chin to fly into the air. Jack feels this, but he's never punched many jaws before. He couldn't even send a quiver through Pickle's skull, even though his jaw weighs 200 kilos. Tokugawa is perplexed as to why Jack didn't knock him down. Albert appears and informs him that he has been watching the fight since it began. Jack has worked hard to achieve his strength, and now represents the modern age. Jack is a fighter who has never stopped training, even when drugs nearly killed him, and he wants to grow big by using bone lengthening. He gained height in exchange for excruciating pain, and now represents the modern age. The battle between Jack and Pickle pits the cutting edge against the Cretaceous period. Most ancient Pickle Jack had never seen a mirror before, and he quickly realizes that what he was holding was a part of his body. The silence in his right ear differed from that in his missing left ear, and each ear was different. Jack attacks again, but this time he misses, and hears a sound made by Pickle and dodge at the last second. Jack is perplexed as to why such a large dust cloud surrounds him. Despite his request to God, Jack wishes to win the match. The results are predictable, and Pickle celebrates his victim with a dance, and he begins to cry. As Pickle approaches Jack, he is struck by the memory of a certain insect. Pickle was attacked by a creature that was smaller than him, and he liked it. Pickle ate the insect that was in his mouth, which felt far worse than pain. He lost his ability to move and learned that some things do not die after they are killed. Pickle sat down without eating Jack, indicating that he was one of those who still had something left in him. Tokugawa approaches and touches Jack back, convinced that he is unconscious, but it is too late. Because Tokugawa was too short, he accidentally avoided the fatal attack. Jack's cell memory, even if unconsciously implanted, allows him to unleash the most powerful attack. After being taken to the hospital, Jack suffered from severe scarring and severe cervical spine damage. His body, however, is in good condition, and the doctor explains that even after losing consciousness, humans can still act. This story is set during the special circumstances of war when soldiers captured soldiers from their enemy's domain and were immediately executed as they awaited their deaths. The captured troops' commanding officer proposed an outrageous plan. After being beheaded, he would pick up his head and run down the line of his troops, sparing all the men who could run past him. The captor was immediately executed, but he ran down the entire line of his troops while carrying his own head, which he did. Whether awake or asleep, he had only ever sought strength in life, and must have etched his strategy into every nook and cranny and every cell of his body. The nurse becomes terrified and informs him that Jack has vanished. Pickle continues the fight, with Jack taking 5 kicks to the face from Jack Max Pickle. Pickle had fought beasts hundreds of times his weight daily, despite Jack's powerful legs and fists. When Jack learned of this, Pickle carried him away from the fight, taking care not to drop him or injure him further. He didn't bear Jack, but treated him as a meal rather than as an enemy. Takagawa informs Yuujirou a few days later that Baki is waiting for Pickle to recover fully. He claims it's not fair right now, so he waits. Two men are facing each other in the underground arena without spectators in front of them. Takagawa wonders if Baki can win the great fight because King Retsu has been defeated, Katsumi Orochi has been crushed, and the beast Jack has also failed. Yuujirou had heard that animals in the wild could survive for long periods without eating, and Jack inherited very little from his bloodline. Pickle must have reached his limits, and Alberta assures him not to worry. Pickle has 40 kilos of T-Rex meat that he killed, and he invites Baki to join him for dinner. Pickle will not fight again if he is full, but Albert assures him he will not. Pickle's hunger is satisfied and he insults him. He claims he is fighting not to eat, but to protect his honor. Hanayama and Takagawa arrive and learn that the match between the most powerful men of the dinosaur era and Baki Hanma has just begun. Pickle leaps to his feet and free falls from a height of 30 meters, surprised to see Baki and Pickle still standing. A skilled fighter, Retsu was astounded by the primitive man's blows to Baki. Baki Hanma internal organs are completely disorganized and his diaphragms are pushed up as far as they can, crushing his lungs. Despite his injuries, Baki is still ready to fight, but his lungs have been crushed and he can barely speak. Baki uses camouflage to avoid detection and senses that the primitive man has suffered severe physical harm. Pickle, who has been around for millions of years, is taken aback by Pickle's fall. Pickle is aware that camouflage is used by things pretending to be dead or feigning weakness, but he has witnessed this man repeat the same action, further damaging his already severe, clearly injured body. He realizes that no direct blow with a foot or fist will ever shake the primeval brain, so he only strikes him on the skin surface. This technique is used in boxing, but it is rarely a flick of a boxer's glove that is misinterpreted as a miss. The blow is so fast that it imperceptibly shakes the jaw and brain at an invisible speed to the naked eye. Pickle's brain ceases to function normally, which must have been perplexing and frightening. 1 minute he's unharmed and standing upright. The next, the ground rises to meet him. The blow stuns King Retsu, who sees a man on the verge of death and has not even begun recovering from his injuries. Pickle's entire body trembles, but he does not run. He has overcome blows, weight, strength, and danger to face the primitive man. Pickle, a primitive man with a sense of invincibility, has encountered a new challenge. He can only move the ground with his body, something he had never considered before. This new experience is beyond his comprehension, and he has no idea how to stand up to the giant. Pickle employs a technique known as the hip strike, taught in the Japanese martial art of Kudo, a hybrid form of Kung Fu martial arts. This technique involves relaxing muscles until they become flaccid and loose, giving the body the appearance of a whip. Both warriors and unconquerable men feel the same level of agony. Pickle's defensive posture is unlike anything he's ever seen. This is unlike any other situation he's ever encountered. Pickle employs the technique that, once defeated Retsu and suspects Baki is well aware of it. Baki is also familiar with Kokai-ken, a kung fu style that incorporates a tiger's form and strength. Retsu is perplexed about why Baki employs kung fu when he can use Toroken, Soruken, and Gasashulkin. Baki's next goal is to imitate Triceratops, a small, ostensibly helpless figure who realizes he is up against the most powerful opponent he has ever encountered. But he also has a flying bird at his disposal. Pickle has witnessed a T-Rex soar to move the ground and no longer sees the man in his true form. Pickle has never seen a monster like this before, as he has been transformed into one of the Earth's mightiest beasts. Baki, a formidable Cretaceous period opponent, is a formidable warrior with a distinct fighting style. He is a new martial artist who has been imbued with the abilities of 3 fearsome adversaries: T-Rex, Triceratops, and Pteranodon wings. Baki attacking prowess is only rivaled by his ability to endure the agony of a T-Rex's teeth and tail. He uses the wall as a springboard to attack Pickle, who also uses the wall to attack Baki. Baki has superhuman strength and has lived to win. He has followed in the footsteps of Yuujirou Hanma, the most powerful being on Earth, and his strength is visible in every inch of him. Baki has experienced speed and speed that defies definition. He has seen many different types of speed on land, water, and in the air. And now he has a new speed experience. Baki's memory of previous difficult battles is etched into him, and he has 2 memories of this experience. Etched into him from previous difficult battles, Baki feels the impact and intensity of the tremor as the greatest wave of pain ever arrives. Baki has made Pickle's blood boil, and the fight is on the verge of breaking out. Pickle's title appearance is revealed with the same scars on his back. Pickle was a man who has survived the jaws of a T-Rex. As evidenced by his scars, Pickle's form is strange, and his powerful parts become even more ferocious. Baki thanks Pickle for transforming him into a Cretaceous period's greatest warrior. In the Cretaceous period, his fighting abilities and ability to adapt to the world's challenges made him a formidable opponent. Baki, a formidable opponent, undergoes metamorphosis and vows to repay Pickle's friendship. Baki, who has many teeth, claws, and horns, is defeated by his strength and agility. Baki has the support of his friends, and he is determined to defeat Pickle's formidable opponent. Baki, who has a large body and powerful fighting abilities, poses a challenge to him. As Pickle races to catch up, he realizes that this is a battle of endurance. He rejects skill-based victory in favor of a straight-up victory based on stamina. As the sun rises in the east or water flows to its lowest point, the difference in stamina is visible. Pickle, fearing of losing, makes a move amid his strength contest. Pickle is defeated by Baki Hanma. In a heated debate between modern and ancient man, Pickle is unable to move and is attempting to recover. Pickle is taken to the hospital and treated for his injuries. As the Pickle situation worsens, people in various countries, including France, Germany, the United States, India, and the United Nations, debate Pickle's fate. A vote was held to determine whether Pickle should be returned to the original rock salt lair or allowed to live with people. Pickle is elected to live with people by a narrow margin of 1,000 votes. Pickle is unable to escape the lab, but he appears in front of Albert before disappearing into Tokyo. The story emphasizes the significance of skill and determination in overcoming obstacles and achieving success. Many thanks for watching. I will make a similar anime recap if this series gets a lot of likes. Also, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to help me make more content. Take you